Hey yo, what's up everyone, this is Mr. Owakalkos here, coming at you with the deck profile and showcase for Numeron Infernoids post July 2021. Now I first made this deck profile like about a year ago, and yeah, surprisingly not a lot has changed aside from, the replacement of Utopic Zexal, because thank goodness that card's gone. And yeah, there's not really much else to say. I do actually understand that the Numeron variant isn't as good, but that's why I do side deck the Lev Darkness strategy, but I'll get into that later. But now let's just go straight into the deck profile, and then after that I'll showcase a few replays. So starting off, 3 Infernoid Decatron, the heart and soul of the deck. Foolish is an Infernoid on summon to copy its name and effects. 2 Anunku and 2 Devyadi, the big boy boss monsters of the deck. Devyadi pretty much heavy storms the field on summon, as well as having monster negation, and Anunku can destroy all monsters on field, as well as having spell trap negation. 1 copy of Atondel, 2 Seatzamas, and 1 Shizette as the medium to slightly big boy Infernoids, only running 1 Shizette to go with our Void Feast combo. 2 Patrulia and 2 Harmadic as the little Infernoids. Nice also that Harmadic is basically monster removal and Patrulia is basically MST. And 3 copies of Numeron Wall, which is pretty much a given in any Numeron deck. Spell cards running 3 Numeron Network, also a given in Numeron builds, and 1 Numeron Calling. Following that up with 1 copy of Terraforming to go with our field spell. 3 copies of Void Vanishment to help search out our win condition in the form of Void Feast. 3 Void Imagination, mainly uses another target for Feast, and can also be a funny going second card as a pseudo Future Fusion. 3 Memories of Hope as our main draw card with the Numeron engine. Won't lie, I'm honestly tempted on replacing this with Future Fusion, but who knows? Let me know in the comments if you think I should go for that. 3 copies of Monster Gate and 1 Reasoning to help with deck thinning, and 1 Lully Buster because of course. And our only trap card, 3 Void Feast, our primary win condition. For the extra deck we're running 2 Infernoid Tierra, the main guy you want to bring out with Imagination, since after all it is really nice to have its effect of at least having both players mill 3 from their extra deck. Speaking of which, 2 copies of Enfys and 1 Scything Lord Omega as the targets to send off of Tierra. We're playing 1 single copy of each of the Numeron gates, hence why we're only running 1 copy of Calling. Link monsters running 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice to go with our Lair engine, 1 Dual Little Chimera to go with our Infernoid since they're all fire monsters, 1 Heat of the Fire Charmer Blaze, which is absolutely hilarious in the Salaman Great matchup, 1 Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops to go with our gates as a defensive option, 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, another primary win condition if we happen to get to our Void Feast combo, and 1 Bolsaur Dragon for OTKing. Not gonna lie, I honestly prefer this over Access Code Talker in this build since, there's not a lot of differently attributed targets to go into for Access Code, so I feel that Bolsaur is probably for the best. Side deck is the whole Lair of Darkness package, 3 Arima, 1 Darkest Diablos, 3 Lair of Darkness, 3 Super Polymerization, and Super Poly targets of 2 Mudragon, 2 Starving Venom, and 1 Earth Golem at Ignista. So, with all that said and done, how's about we show this deck in action? Alright, so for this first replay, I'm gonna be going up against Magispectors, and honestly, aside from this one of Calling, this hand is practically perfect if going first, but I am going second, so this may be a bit difficult. So anyway, my opponent will open up with the copy of Toad to set the copy of Tempest from deck. He'll follow that up with Ties of the Brethren to summon the copies of Fox and Yada from the deck, both of which will search the Magispector Cyclone and Tornado, where they'll both be set before passing turn. I'm gonna go defensive at this point and open up with Void Banishment, pitching the copy of Anunku that I drew to search Feast, setting all 3 of them, mind you, and passing for turn. His turn's gonna come and I'm just gonna drop double Void Feast to pitch both the Feast and Vanishment, getting triple Decatron, Shizette, and Seatzamas. All 3 Decatrons will attempt to trigger, but then my opponent will answer with the copies of Tornado and Cyclone to basically get rid of my Decatrons before they resolve. the Tornado on targeting one of my Decatrons to banish, I will resolve with the Shazette, but will be met with the Tempest to banish it. Luckily, I was able to pitch a copy of Devity off of one of the Decatrons, so at least I have my monster negation. My opponent will then open with Bunbunku to just swing over the Decatron, but then after that, he will then use Storm to get rid of the Summers. I'll then just chain Seat Summers to tribute itself and get rid of one of his traps from the grave, ending his turn. My turn's gonna come, and it's OTK time. I'm gonna summon the copies of Seat Summers and Devity from the graveyard, resolve the Void Feast in hand by getting rid of the Imagination in the graveyard to summon a Tondao, and just like that, we've got an OTK. So for our next replay, we are going up against a zombie Lightswarm build, and this time we're going first, just as well as we opened up with basically the perfect hand. We will resolve Numeron Wall to get network from the deck, using it to drop Calling and get our 4 Numeron Gates, which we will then trade off for a 4 negate Appaloosa, setting our copy of Feast and passing turn. The moment our opponent's turn starts, we're going to activate Feast to get our 2 copies of Decatron and Shazette. Both of them will pitch our Oninku and Devity, and just like that, we got ourselves 6 negations. Not bad for a 2.5 card combo. Our opponent will then try to continue on using double charge of the Light Brigade to get his searches. He will try to resolve the Gozuki in the grave, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and negate that off of Appaloosa. Raiden will trigger, but yeah, I'm just gonna be disrespectful and negate it off of Decatron. Chaos Valkyria in hand will resolve, which will also be negated by the Appaloosa. He will then, I believe, what did he use? Yeah, the Banished Valkyria effect to pitch the copy of Bolodrot before basically passing turn. But yeah, I'm just gonna banish it from grave by using the Shazette. During my turn, I'm just gonna activate Monster Gate to get rid of my Shazette, basically just to fill the grave. And from there, I'm just gonna link away into Heat of the Fire Charmer Blaze to get my copy of Void Banishment. And then I'm also going to get a Tondao and swing for a lot of damage. Looking back at it now, I might have been able to OTK with Bulbasaur, but nah, I don't think I would have. Anyway, I'm going to set the copy of Feast, pass turn, my opponent's turn going to comes, and now I will resolve the Feast, getting the Harmadic, Petrulia, and Decatron, which Decatron will then just dump a Ninku for spell negation. Our opponent will activate Reasoning, and that I will definitely negate because I can. Once again, Chaos Valkyrie will resolve, but that will also get negated. He will then swing over the Appaloosa with Summoner to try and get a mill. He will then attempt to resolve the Wolf and Grave, but yeah, Harmadic's going to say no with the DD Crow effect, and that is a scoop. Okay, so for this final replay, let's go up against a monkey deck. In other words, Eldritch Dragoon. Yay! And we're going first with this abomination of a hand. Yeah, this is exactly why the Numeron variant of Infernoids isn't as good as it once was. But regardless, we're going to open with normal summoning Decatron to pitch the copy of Petrulia from our deck, banishing it to summon Harmadic before synchroing away into Cyphering Lord Omega and passing turn. During the standby phase, I will return the Petrulia to the graveyard. My opponent will then set the copy of Solemn Strike before activating Red Eyes Fusion. I will attempt to try and snipe a card out of his hand, just in case he happened to open with a Dragoon piece, but no he didn't. I just got a Dogmanica Punishment and he has Dragoon. So I'll have to take that 3k damage. Okay, let's see what I can do here. During my turn, Cyphering Lord Omega is going to return. I will attempt to snipe another card out of the hand before being met with Solemn Strike. Not what I would do, but I digress. I will attempt to activate Omega's effect in grave, and this is where my opponent bumbles up. He will negate it by discarding Red Eyes Wyvern, interesting tech option, but the problem is, he didn't destroy it, so he won't get the attack boost. And also Omega's effect in grave is not a hard once per turn. We punish those. I will use Omega's effect again to recycle Decatron. activate Void Imagination to resolve its future fusion-like effect, and boom, there we have Infernoid Tiara. And I'll use its effect promptly to mill 3 from extra and 3 from main. And of course, one of the cards that I milled was Siphon Lord Omega. I'll use it to recycle my opponent's own Red Eyes Wyvern, so he won't have the chance to get Dragoon back. I will then Monster Gate my own Tiara to try and deck thin, only to get a single Decatron, so I can just improvise, banishing 2 Infernoids to summon Zisamas before linking them away into Dual Little Chimera. So I will then banish more Infernoids to get a Tondel and Onunku, swing over the Dragoon with a Tondel, and OTK from there. So glad that's over. Well guys, that's my Numeron Infernoid deck profile and showcase. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you want to see more kind of videos like this, please be sure to let me know in the comments. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you can, because that really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Or you can even follow me on Twitter with the link in the description. Take care everyone, and I hope to see you all again soon. This is Mr. Orichalcos, signing out.